back. I'm Ashley Heydrich, your Southern Lesbian, and so nice to see y'all back here again. I feel like I just throw things at y'all and beat you up a little bit, and you keep coming back. Seriously, thank you. I think that I need this as much as y'all do. I'm learning so much by going through this process with y'all. Some of these things are things that I'm still working on myself, so it's like, I don't know, does that make me masochistic? Anyway, it's nice to be able to talk through them. It's nice to hear your feedback. Hopefully some of this stuff resonates with you. Thank you for following along. It means the world to me, honestly. All right, so let's get into it. So y'all know how inspired by quotes I am, so here I go again. So today's quote comes from Martha Beck. If y'all know who she is, I just adore her. I was listening to a podcast that she was on a couple weeks ago with Lisa Bilyeu, Women of Impact podcast. And Martha said, when something's not working, don't do it harder. Well, yeah, Martha, but how many of us do that when things aren't working? We just keep twisting that knife and keep trying to force our agenda. I don't say this to y'all as in if a relationship's not working, don't do it harder. This is in terms of giving you tools to work in your relationship to try to make it better. That's what I mean by that. So Martha said, think of your relationship as a puzzle. You know, you're just one little piece of that puzzle. And if you don't fit, what are your choices? Well, you can either find another puzzle that you fit into, or you're going to have to bend your shape just a little bit, right? So last week we talked about how we need to not be maybe so black and white, so strict in our lines of thinking, how we may have to bend a little bit, mold a little bit, be a little malleable, to make room for somebody else's dreams too, because I know for me, for sure, I've had these visions of things that I want in the future, and it's like, it has to be this, and it has to look like this, and it has to be exactly in this spot. But then, you've got to leave room too, if you love somebody, for their dreams. You've got to make sure that both of you are happy and coming to the table, right? And feeling like you're being heard and fulfilled, and both of your dreams matter, and that you're supporting one another. So this is where, we're going to talk just a little bit about being malleable today, or walking away. Listen, if it's not for you, it's not for you. Walk away, find another puzzle. I don't know what you're into, Brimhilda. I mean, some of these puzzle piece decisions are big. Some of them are like maybe go against your non-negotiables. So you got to think about that stuff. I'm not saying just bend to everything your partner needs. I'm saying this is where you've got to just trust your own gut so much and really lean into what feels right to you and follow that lead. So first of all, we have to have two people who are actually willing to have these conversations. Because if one of you is extremely willing and one of you's not, that doesn't work, right? You need both people coming to the table like this. Don't mind my boo-boo, y'all. Both of y'all have to come to the table together and say you want to work on things. Don't be afraid of these conversations, and I'll tell you why. I was for a long time, and I was a little avoidant, y'all. I was a little avoidant. These conversations, no matter what the answer turns out to be, are your authentic truth, right? You have to be able to speak your authentic truth and be heard. So best case scenario, you have a partner that says to you, when something goes sideways, maybe if a little conflict arises, when there's misunderstanding, hopefully you have somebody that wants to come to the table and mend that and figure that out, because we're all bringing different things to the table through our own filters of life that we've been through. And I think the biggest thing, honestly, is just having someone who's willing to have the conversations, because if you don't, what do you really have? It can't be all one-sided. It can't be just this way and you're getting oppressed over here. So if you do have a partner who's willing, that's a beautiful thing, right? Because holy shit, it's like once you work through some of these things and you have that person now and y'all understand each other and it's clicking, holy shit, if I have a partner like that who's willing to listen to me on that level and work with me on that level, I ain't going anywhere. You know what I mean? Because clearly, these are things maybe you've tried to work on with somebody else and it didn't work. If here you are in another relationship and you would like to work on it with this person. Just saying. I just think these conversations are incredibly empowering to the relationship, because overcoming these types of things in a healthy way is what builds a solid foundation. It is what empowers you. It is what makes you trust that person with your heart. It is what makes you feel like you can come to the table and be your full authentic self and express your needs and have them be heard and feel like it's a safe space to do so, right? So choose wisely, y'all. Choose somebody that is willing to come to the table for these conversations. And if she's not, you might have to just set her down over there for a little while. Maybe come back to her later, but I don't know. Just put her down for a minute. That doesn't mean that you can force your opinions on anybody either. Like, we've talked about this before. You have to have the tools to be able to go through this properly. So podcasts, audiobooks, there's 1,000,001 resources out there. There's even people on Instagram you can follow that will help just sort of like bring things to mind sometimes. Like, do y'all follow the Holistic Psychologist? I just think she's fantastic. Nicole LaPera, but she goes by the Holistic Psychologist. The things that she brings up is like, woof, truth bombs that I have just never heard before she started throwing them out there when I started following her a couple years ago, and talking about family dynamics and how they come into play and how someone's raised and the type of person that you've grown to be, the relationship type person that you've come to be, if that makes sense. She's a fantastic one to follow. It's just clarity in an instant. It's truth bomb after truth bomb about life, really, in instances that come your way. This is also where the practice of meditation helps. It's like, once you have the time, have the space to sit and do that, to clear your mind, listen for little things to come in, pay attention to that small, still voice that you have that's trying to tell you something, maybe before it starts screaming at you. You want to listen to those things. That's your intuition. That's your gut talking to you. Pay attention to that stuff. Okay, so let's say you're in a position where the relationship is not working and you know that it's not working and it's time to step away from this person. Then I just want to say to you, bless your heart, because it's incredibly difficult at the holidays, first of all. But I want you to remember that your kindness is yours. That is not for them to decide on or not. They can choose to reject it. That's their choice. That doesn't mean that you stop being who you are and you stop trying with the rest of the people around you. That just means they had a choice, and the way you presented yourself to them, they decided this isn't a fit. They're going to go away now, okay? Easier said than done. Ashley, it's not that simple. I know. Trust me, I know. It's fucking hard. I'm just saying, don't beat yourself up about it. You know, relationships are practice, their work, and if you don't have someone who's willing to do that work with you, you know, you got to find that person that does. Sorry. So here's a little relationship exercise if y'all are struggling in this area that I would love to throw out to you. Again, a little journal prompt that I found from my buddy Magdalena McClellan online. She's not my buddy, but in my mind she is, because I listen to her every day. She gave this little exercise and I thought it was pretty brilliant. It says, write out the names of your past partners and write why you are grateful for what they brought to you. So I did this, y'all. I listed a few of my past partners that were really truly partners. And I thought, what did I get out of that relationship? What did I learn from each of those moving forward? What do I think is fantastic, and what do I not want to repeat again? That's a powerful exercise, right? She says, and then I want you to read this out loud to yourself and thank them. Say their name, thank them for the thing that you learned from them, and then release them. Oof. Yep. If someone hurt you, it's time to release them. So imagine them coming and standing in front of you and you saying these words to them. That's what I want you to do. It's a powerful exercise, y'all. I did it. And it'll take you straight back to those hard moments in those relationships, but it allows you to look back, you know, through a different lens now, because now you've moved ahead a bit and now you're seeing it in black and white. You're like, that's what I got out of that. Now, sometimes you're just going to say maybe you got something physical out of it. I don't know. But this is your list. You got to see what you learn here. But the point is, doing this exercise and learning, I think, helps your next chapter to come in. So I did this, a couple months ago, and I just thought it was really interesting because it helps you clarify, like, this is what I've learned, this is what I don't want, this is what I do want that I liked in these relationships. And it just kind of helps you recognize when that person steps in front of you, you recognize her, So the next thing is, and we just said this, what lessons have I learned from my relationships that I want to apply moving forward? Well, I don't know about y'all. We each have our own list, right? I've talked about some of mine. For me, it's breaking some of those childhood reactive habits. I still work on them a bit. I don't know how long it's going to take me to get through that, but I want to. I really, really want to, because I can recognize that they're not helpful, but it's just that conditioning, that knee-jerk response that happens. What I have to do in the moment is go, this is not that situation. I talked about this a little already, but if you haven't heard this before, this is not this situation. This is not that person that hurt me. This person has not tried to hurt me. I'm safe. I can speak my mind and be authentic. I'm an adult now. I can take myself out of this situation if I need to. I'm not like a child who was trapped in a situation where I didn't have a voice. Okay, are y'all ready for this one? Where in your life have you been resistant to change? And how can you embrace it now? So, I've been doing a lot of work, so I don't feel I'm resistant to change. I hope not, but this is for you. This is for you. So, think of it this way. Are there some things, if you're brutally honest with yourself, that your exes have brought up, you've heard consistently of like, you do this, you're this way, I feel this way when I'm with you. What are those things? Are you ready to look at those things? Are you ready to think? And I'm talking about if there's a pattern here, right? Because if there's a pattern, chances are there might be some truth to it. And I think it's really important that we look at that so that we can heal that, so we can grow and move forward and not do that to our next partner. Maybe they mentioned something like, you don't listen, you're controlling, they don't trust you, you're not thoughtful. Those sorts of things. I don't know, whatever it is for you, but if it's been mentioned multiple times or more than once, I would say pay attention to that and just get curious about it, and dig a little bit there and talk yourself through it, and then maybe find something to listen to, an audiobook, a podcast, read a book, do some digging on that subject and just see if there's a way that you can heal that, so that you don't bring it into your next relationship. Okay, next, y'all. What beliefs have I outgrown and what new perspectives am I open to exploring? We talked about this a lot last week, but this is kind of back to the list of non-negotiables. Are they still your non-negotiables? Are your beliefs really still your beliefs from way back yonder? Are they worth re-examining and just seeing what really works for you now? Like, all right, this just came to me, and when these things pop into my head, I do feel like I should share them with y'all. So for years, I had this idea that I would only date someone if she got along with my family, because I have a huge family. I love them very much. They're super complicated. Not everyone's going to have an easy time being around them. They're loud and boisterous and fun, but I love them. So when I was living near them, or when it was so important for me to be able to be there a lot, I thought, gosh, this is sort of my litmus test for my partner. Can she exist in these spaces with me? Well, I'm going to tell y'all something. Some people couldn't. There were a few that couldn't. Regardless of that, where I am now is a bit differently focused. In other words, I think I was putting my family of origin ahead of my future with my partner. So I just think it's so important now to focus forward, to focus on what she and I need to build together, and let these things, not that I'm saying my family's not important, they are, they're hugely important to me, of course, but I think that I've learned to put them in a different place now and put the focus on my partner and what we need to build and respect that. And I don't really know how to explain this to y'all. I think it's just a mindset shift. It also doesn't matter to me anymore what my Yahoo family thinks of my partner. I mean, they usually love them all. Nobody's ever said anything bad about my partners, but it's that when you grow up in a family that, maybe there's one or two that are critical, you just sort of walk in thinking, oh God, bracing yourself for like, well, what are they going to say? What are they going to find to pick apart now? Listen, this is no secret. I told y'all I grew up with a mom that was a bit critical. Again, no judgment, different era, no therapy. That's not what they believed in. I love her. I forgive her. It's okay. But I grew up with that. I grew up with a critical mother who, I just felt a bit picked apart in my choices. So everybody I date, there was always, she'd find the what ifs and the yeah buts and what if something went wrong and what about this part of her, I don't like this, right? Some of them she would say kind things about. That's really lovely. But I'm just saying, that's just who she is. And now I don't really care what her opinion is, but it really mattered to me deeply for a long time because I had not recognized my sovereignty outside of that freaking family, I think. Not freaking family. I love my family so much, y'all. I really do. I really do. And I love my mom. She's so much fun. I think it's important if you have someone in your life. It doesn't have to be a family member. It could be a friend. Like, do you have a best friend that, kind of does that to you and is always making you feel just a little bit of like you have to please them or you have to hide certain traits of yourself, maybe even too, or somebody that you're dating because you're worried that they're going to pick them apart. Well, I'm not sure that's the most supportive friendship, y'all. And I've learned to slowly extract those people from my life. I've also learned not to tell those people about who I'm dating until I have fully formed an opinion on how I feel about them, because those little voices will get in your head and it'll wreck any potential future you have. You might be perfectly happy with somebody, and then Yahoo number one comes in and voices their opinion of what's run through their filter in their life and what works for them. Well, who cares? They're not the one dating her. You are. How can you bend to allow space for your partner's dreams? What are your partner's dreams? I hope to God you've asked her, because I'm sure she has them. I'm sure you know. Y'all, this is a very thoughtful crowd here, so, I'm talking to y'all like you haven't done this. But if you haven't, ask her, what are your dreams, babe? What matters to you? What do you want in life? Where do you see yourself? Because it's important, and I think it's so important to support each other's happiness and be each other's biggest cheerleader. It goes a long way for when things pop up that you need to deal with. If somebody's got your back at the end of the day, it just makes the tough stuff a little easier, right? Okay, so the next one. What does true beauty look like to you? Physically, energetically, spiritually? Well, physically, we know we all have our types that we like. And that's not a tough one to figure out. Energetically, to me, I need someone who's very positive. I need someone I can laugh with and be silly with. I'm real silly, y'all, especially with someone I get super close to. Maybe not always on here, sometimes, but I'm a bit of an idiot with the person I'm dating. And it's fun. I wouldn't change it for the world. Those moments are precious and fun. And something special, I think, that is fun to share with just that one other person. So that means a lot to me. I have to have somebody who really likes music. I'm a big horse lover. Obviously, I need someone who, even if they don't love horses, they're going to let me go love horses. Someone who loves travel. Someone who, if they don't eat vegan, respects my veganism. What are yours, though? What does true beauty look like for you? Spiritually, what does true beauty look like to you? For me, that means somebody that I can have deep conversation with, and they'll hold the space, and I can hold the space for them. That when things that are hard happen in life, that we hold each other up and support each other and talk each other through that and talk about it on a bigger picture level. Like when you lose somebody, life throws a lot of hard stuff at us, and it's so important that somebody doesn't just sit and listen, but that you respect their opinion and that their words matter and can help you through that. At least for me, I need that. I need someone who I really respect on that level and that I feel like I can trust what this person is saying to me. I know that she has my highest good in mind when she's saying these things to me, and I believe her, and I can trust that maybe things are going to get better because I'm in a dysregulated state right now, but she's not, and her words are really landing for me. How can I ensure that my actions align with my intentions? Ooh. Well, walking your talk, y'all. Walking your talk. Easier said than done sometimes, but if your actions don't align with your intentions, well, maybe you haven't talked about your intentions. Let's just start there. What are your intentions? With a partnership, what are your intentions? Are you clear with her on where you want to go? Are you clear that you want a relationship? Are you clear that you don't want a relationship? Are you clear on what your wants are and your needs are? Have y'all talked about those things? That's not saying that everything's going to align in the moment, because you're two people coming together at different places in life, trying to, make this thing fit. And it might need a minute to sort of settle into like this. You know what I mean? But I think it's important to, if you have stated your intentions, to honor yourself through that. Honor her through hers. See what lines up. See what the stars have in store for you. Okay, this one is still a little challenging for me. How can I avoid overthinking and trust the process? I am so guilty of ruminating and overthinking, and I catch myself all the time going, Ashley, stop it. And that's where, like I talked to y'all about before, that's where it's important to have like good music that you can put on, fun thoughts that you can think, ways to get your head out of that pattern. Because it's like breaking a habit, this process of ruminating and overthinking. And what do they say it takes to break a habit? It's like 21 days or something like that. Well, doubt that you're going to go 28 days without one negative thought popping in. So I don't know about that. But what's important is not just breaking the pattern. It's the recognition that you're breaking the pattern and what you're replacing it with, because this becomes a practice. And the more you do this and the more you put this into place, the more it works. I know this because I've done this. So now I don't get more than maybe 2 sentences into those type of thoughts to where I can catch myself and go, stop thinking. Why am I thinking that? Stop it, stop it, stop it. This could be about your relationship. This could be about work. This could be about something you're scared of, whatever it is. Like, just if you're someone who struggles with that negative thinking and going down those rabbit holes and being pulled down into depression, this is a powerful tool I'm telling you about right here, right now. You just have to recognize and catch yourself and replace the thought. You cannot think your way out of these situations. Do not sit there and think and try to figure it out. That is not the way to solve it. I'm telling you right now. Replace the thoughts. Go do something fun. Turn something on that you like. Get your body into a more regulated state. Then you can think about those things. Give it a while. Give it hours. Give it a day if you can. Don't try to solve these things in the moment, because when you're going down, your thoughts are just going to keep pulling you down further. You just can't do it. So start recognizing, what is the story that you tell yourself when you get hurt? So if it's in a relationship and your partner does something hurtful, what is that story that instantly comes to mind for you of like, probably from your childhood, probably not something she has any freaking idea about. But in that moment, we're triggered. We don't know. We're dealing with our flood of emotions that comes up from something that happened 30 fucking years ago. Pardon my French. Start to recognize, maybe do some journaling. Journaling is so powerful too, y'all. Sit and handwrite this stuff out. It just blows my mind sometimes. I think, well, I know what the story is. I tell myself, Ashley. Well, yeah, but when you sit to write it out, sometimes I'm just shocked by the things that come out of my own hand, I guess. Head. There's something about that visceral, physical practice of pen to paper. It just pulls something different out of you, I'm telling you. So if you haven't done it, write it out. What are you feeling in those moments? Look at it. Recognize it. Does it make sense? Does it still make sense today? Because if it doesn't, then let's think about how we can maybe change those thoughts up. Okay, last one for y'all. What insights have I gained during this introspection? List them out. What have you gained after going through this practice today? What have y'all learned? What have I learned? I think I learned that I need to journal a little bit more. I think that would be helpful for me right now. I've been journaling on my laptop a bit, and it's great. It's not quite the same as pen to paper. I don't know why, y'all, but it's just different. It just works. So thanks for the reminder, me. I'm going to do that. Thank y'all for listening to me through it. So I reckon that's all I got for y'all today. It's December. I was really trying to decide, am I going to hit y'all over the head with difficult stuff this month or not? I think we're in a point just energetically and in the world where we kind of need some difficult conversations. So I'll give y'all a break next week. But today, I thought this was important. I hope y'all got something out of this. If you did, please like, follow, share it with a friend if you think they'll get something out of it. Your support means the world to me. I say this every week. Like, I keep showing up because I can't believe y'all are still here. Comment to me. Let me know where you're from. Where are you listening in the world? It's so fun to hear. And if there's anything that you want to discuss, you want me to talk about, happy to discuss if I feel that I can. If I can't, then I'll tell you I'm not quite there yet. Thank you again so much. I hope you'll have a wonderful week. Happy holidays. Happy almost Christmas. And I'll see y'all next week. Okay, thanks. Bye-bye, guys.